to the AI, it's actually, obviously it's running an AI model that knows the whole globe's data. It's trained on that data for like a year. So this, for example, could be using Claude version 4. So that has been trained on the globe's data, on Reddit, on website scraping. So it knows what a Filipino lechon restaurant is, and it's just gone and essentially interpreted what I said to it, which is build the website for the small business, took all that knowledge, and then just started essentially pattern matching or figuring out this is what a lechon business would look like if they had a website in the Philippines. Obviously butchered from the kids' website game that we previously built for Arthur. It's got the back to home, contact us. It hasn't got Filipino addresses, so normally this would be like lot 1, block 1. Like the address will be like 5 lines long. So none of that's there. It's got the wrong, it's got an American, I think that's toll-free or something, prefix for the phone number. So it isn't perfect. lechonbarbecue.com. I don't know if that's an actual website, but let's have a look. No, it's you can actually buy this website address for 6,000 pesos. So it's interesting that it took that potential website address and just suggested or pattern matched it and put it in there. But yeah, these are the small details that it gets wrong. And obviously we didn't actually provide that full technical brief of what we wanted to start with. So if you just create a README file, it can really quickly help with the one shot of talking to the AI once, go make a coffee, come back, and then the whole website's done and you don't have to change anything. I will now have to go through this. I have to update with the correct business name because I didn't provide it, the correct website address that we're going to use. Maybe you do use that 6,000 peso website. Put the correct phone number in because we didn't provide that to it. So it's just suggested a placeholder into it. And it's got a contact form, which, no, sorry, it doesn't have a contact form. It's just got a direct email, phone number. It's got some information about the lechon barbecue. So obviously since 1985, it's kind of like pattern matching or averaging what's out there on Facebook. And, you know, the typical family lechon business might be established in 1985. So it's just gone and made this up, but it's actually using educated training data from real world data that it used for training in the last year, with Claude 4 at least. We're using a family secret marinade passed down for generations. A lot of cool stuff. So you can build whatever you want. So let's go into some questions. I can hear some questions being asked. Okay, so we've got a quick question. Let me go back to the start. So another live stream, something, I don't know what that says. Hello, Sir John. Good evening. I'm Carlo from Kojisu College. So you have a question about vibe coding that supports an iterative approach to UI front-end development. Does it integrate RAG in the background? So I don't have that data right here, but basically what we're using, we're not building our own agent. We're using Cursor AI. So they built a potentially, it's a RAG agent that helps us code and vibe code. You can actually look that up. They have some information technically on their website, but basically they're using an agent framework they've built, and they actually, they're pretty cool in terms of Cursor. They use all the different latest models. So I just want to quickly flick over to Cursor again. So you might be wondering what this means. So basically, it's deleted code, which was Arthur's kids education game code. It's then switched it out with the new code for the Lechon restaurant website. So I can say keep, and I can review the code individually, each line, and just make sure, if you know how to code, you can read it and make sure that it's all good. Obviously, the floating AI chat's not there from the kids game, so it's gone and deleted all that stuff. I can also click keep all because I like it. I'm happy with the website, and it then goes through and updates all that code. It deleted a whole bunch of code, and now that is updated. So the cool thing about Cursor is it does use the latest AI models. So I mentioned Claude 4 Sonnet, GPT-5, you have to pay premium for that. The cool thing right now for the next 4 days is Elon or Grok, xAI, has released Grok Code Fast 1. It's free for 4 days, and that's a premium coding model. So you can actually vibe code using a premium coding model for free. You don't have to pay the Cursor Pro, like $20 a month. You can actually use this awesome coding model that's just been released like 2 days ago, this week. And that's what I was using earlier today to build something else. So that is now free until September the 10th. And yeah, you can basically just vibe code all day, and it's, huge. It's free. So it's, got a lot of capacity limits. It seems to be really powerful for coding. I normally run that on auto, and then the agent is running in the background. Traditionally, it uses RAG because all the agent frameworks in Python that I've used in the last couple of years doing AI development, they use a RAG background. And what RAG does, it basically is like a pipeline that the AI agent can work within, and it has things like memory and context, ability to store data in a vector database. It vectorizes that data so it can actually use that knowledge. It could be document uploads, it could be images, but it uses that knowledge when it's responding to you. And then it can have context over the whole conversation. So a lot of that stuff you don't need to know right now, because a lot of the products that you use in AI development and vibe coding are pre-built for you. Like Cursor, it has all that RAG stuff in the background in the Cursor servers, but it's essentially running for you. You can actually hook up Cursor and modify, VS Code and things to use your own Llama model running on your own laptop if you don't want to use or pay the Cursor premium fees. So that's something else you can do if you really want to get into decentralized open source AI, is instead of paying Cursor money for the premium model access, you can actually run it all locally. So there's a lot of cool things you can do. Obviously, that's advanced and it does take time to set up. I hopefully answered that question. What IDE? So again, this is the IDE. Cursor is the IDE. So, install Cursor as per the global quick start guide, and you've got all this powerful IDE or software running, which is, a quick story is Microsoft VS Code, Cursor forked it and then built Cursor. So this actually is VS Code, which is open source, and it was forked, and Cursor created their own version of it, which fully integrates into AI. If you go back a year and a half ago, I was sitting here copy pasting code out of ChatGPT, and then basically doing this. So I'd go into the homepage TSX file, copy, then go back to my browser, paste into ChatGPT. People do that with Grok on, say, Twitter, and you can use their AI model. There's a free tier, but that's a complete waste of time. Instead of copy pasting all the code into a browser, waiting for that to respond, copy pasting it back, running it, getting an error, copy pasting the error, going back to Grok or ChatGPT, pasting that. That's like 1 year ago. That's crap. You don't do that anymore. You use IDEs like this that can see the code, it can change the code, it can run the code, it can see the bugs, it can see that it made a bug and then fix the code to fix the bug. And it does all of that automatically with the AI agent. So instead of manually copying, pasting into Grok or ChatGPT, you can actually use Cursor. It does it all automatically, and it reiterates like 10 times, and it will get to the end result, which is the Lechon restaurant website. So hopefully you've sort of understood that. I've obviously been doing this for a couple of years in terms of AI coding and using AI. So it's evolved so much. And probably another one, I'm also doing a master's at university as well. So you guys, I don't recommend you use AI at university, but if you were going to, not advice for studying, but basically what I use typically is I actually look at a textbook, I copy paste the whole textbook, put it into a text file that Cursor can read, and then when I want to ask some questions of it, or maybe I have to generate a document or something, I can actually get really quick results that are very efficient using Cursor. So I can paste a whole bunch of textbooks into Cursor, into a folder, copy paste it into the format that it needs, which is text files or markdown files. I can stick a bunch of images because Cursor can use Claude, which is multimodal, so it does text and images. So I can like put the syllabus or requirements of the course I'm doing. I can actually use all of that and shove it into the knowledge, which is what you mentioned about RAG. It's the context that the AI model is using to respond and generate an answer. I can shove all that in. I'm essentially training the model about the subject or course that I'm doing. It has all of that information. Instead of the GitHub for the hackathon repo, it might have the whole course subject, the textbook, the assignments, whatever. And when I ask it a question here, it 100% knows exactly what I'm asking of it. I might paste a bunch of questions in there. It knows to refer to the textbook. And I just recommend this as a study buddy or a training buddy for you to do university or study whatever course you're doing. But it's very, very accurate. It's trained on the correct context. It's almost unlimitless. If you go from a premium model to a free model, it will still be there for you to help you get a good answer. And you can ask it lots of questions. So even if you're not, I fully want you to build a hackathon project. Even if you're not, you can also use it for studying as well as a study buddy. Anyway, so going back to the question list, you tried to use GitHub Copilot. You try to use Gemini CLI, but it was kind of slow. Yeah, I agree. It is a premium model, Gemini, so it's not as accurate as Claude as I've found. We also have a free version of Grok Code, which is great for coding. The other question we had is, does it hit a token limit? So yes, it does for the premium. It gives you like 1,000 free calls to premium, and then it drops down to the free tier, which is the older, so 04 ChatGPT models that are free. They're not quite as good at coding, not quite as good at responding to whatever your question is, but they're pretty good. They're like a year old or half a year old. So you might not have the latest and greatest premium frontier model to use, but you can use the 1 year old models for free. So traditionally, the big cloud providers for AI like Grok, they've open sourced Grok version 2. Currently, you have Grok version 4 and 5. Sorry, you have Grok version 3 and 4 on Twitter that you can use, but Grok version 2 is open source. So what that means is Cursor as a business can run that open source model for near free using things like OpenxAI for inference, and then they can deliver that to you as a free tier. So that's their business model of Cursor. And yeah, you don't need to worry about hitting the token limit or the context limit. Probably another question around context. The beautiful thing about Cursor is it's very, very hard to code if you're copy pasting multiple JavaScript files into ChatGPT or Grok, the website. You can actually use Cursor. Like I said, you can paste all the code files into it, and it actually scans the whole code base. And when you change code in one section, it actually looks at all the 8 files. So you might change a function that's referred to or imported by 10 different files. It actually goes through and updates all the files for you. So it's a great way to take multiple files, a huge code base, a huge textbook into the context of the AI so it responds properly. All right, I'm giving long-winded answers, so hopefully I've covered those. I think everyone's all good. Basically, I've run through a coding example. Probably a quick one before I answer the next question is if I flick back to Cursor, I just wanted to just let it run in the background while we answer some more questions. But there is demo games for an environmental climate change simulator. There's like the kids learning game. There's a base mini app example. So I'm not suggesting you read any of this code. All I'm saying is you just go to new conversation. I can leave the other conversation in the background running. I've put this in the README. So if you just go to the README and read it, I've put in a super, what do I call it? It's a super prompt. So let me just have a look. Here it is. So the ultimate vibe code prompt. So if you go to the README file at the root of the GitHub repo that you've cloned to your local computer, you can actually edit this. This is what I mean by a technical brief. So this is a technical brief. You can just paste that in the chat here. And you can edit it. You can edit it on a word processor or text editor. But basically, if you just edit this prompt, it will go off, and Cursor has all the code base of example app files in the context, so it knows how to build an app for the hackathon. Then you give it the ultimate prompt. So maybe you want to I'll just let this run, but basically give me some examples of what you want to try and build in this call. We've already done a Electron restaurant. Yep, put it in the chat. So let's say I want to build an application, and I'm just showing you this as an example. We don't have to build it right now if we don't have time. But basically, if you wanted to build an app, give me some ideas, guys. So if you want to build an app for a very specific problem in the Philippines, for example, just put some ideas in the chat, and we can see if AI can help build us some. Yeah, good one. So flood simulator. So you are an expert AI developer helping create a flood simulator application for the hackathon. I do have a baby in the background here. So yeah, so what we're going to do is use the Enviro track. So this is an example app. I do have if you go to the first vibe code video on YouTube, I go through this whole session of building it. This is essentially a global, it's a globe that can simulate the environment. So basically, if we use this EnviroTrack app template, and we're going to call it, let me just change some of this ultimate prompt. So we're going to use the demo app, Enviro app track, whatever. So let's, it'll create a new folder, call the project PH flood sim. This could be a game, but we're going to try and use real world data. It'll go off, create a folder. So I'm just making sure I'm updating the mega prompt here. And then again, using the Enviro track. And even if you're lazy and this is getting a bit too hard, you can actually just say, this is great about AI. Okay, I'm lazy. I've modified this mega prompt, but please help me change it. I want a great tech brief to build a flood simulator for using the demo app Enviro track, which is I'm just confirming with the AI, is a 3D globe, but I want it zoomed in on or blue layers. We hit enter. It's going new technical brief using the super mega prompt that I've got in me. I'll just zoom in a bit. Let me just do this in the background while it's building. There we go. Okay, so it's going through. It's doing all this. I'm getting a few things popping up in the background. So it should be building a new README in a new folder. It should be popping up here. Here it is. So I'm assuming you guys can see. So PH002, it's obviously following the number order. Hackathon submission. It's building a flood sim. So it's just it's run a quick for Node.js or Next.js, and it's creating an app. So it's already created all these files. It's generating a README in there. Yep. So you can see here that it's copied the files from the Dead Earth project or the climate change simulator. It's then changing all the files like around to be what I wanted it to be, the new brief that I've given it. I can say, you can see here, it's deleting the old project name. It's putting in the PH flood sim. It's building out this README. It used to be a 3D globe of the Earth, but now it's just going to zoom in on Mindanao. So hopefully it keeps that globe because it's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's modifying the 3D globe to not focus on the whole world, but zoom into Philippines, Mindanao. And it's just running, it's going through and running it. So while that's running, I'll let that run in the background. I'm using Cursor Pro, so you can use the free version. Again, use Grok code that's free for the next 4 days. So you don't have to pay that $20 a month. But the free tiered still works. It just might be a little bit slower. You might have to do it a couple of times instead of once because it's using like the 1-year-old models. But it still works. Chris has done a great job. And they're running a whole bunch of the latest again, going back to the presentation, DeepSeek R1, they can run all these open source models that are very close to the frontier models, the leading models, and you can get really good code generation out of that as well, out of open source. So the free tier of Cursor uses a lot of that sort of open source tech as well. And yeah, it's going off and doing it. So I've got another question from Rude that's saying, you're saying find a tutor for a particular place. Is that referring to me, or you're talking about an app idea where it's finding a tutor? So I showed you an example of finding a matcha latte in a particular place around a university. So you can use that same sort of Google Maps code, which is a source project, you can go get it. And you can find so you can build a directory where people can like quickly fill out a form. They could submit a tutor job. They can use Web3 as a like a base wallet connection to charge, say $5, and people could, you could, you know, potentially, I don't know where you want to go with this, but you could have a smart contract that basically says, is happy with the session. Maybe it's online and both parties, and you basically release that $5 for the tutor session, found them in the directory, and they've had a Google Meet together, run a tutor session, and then yeah, basically the smart contract executes when both wallets agree that yeah, the tutor session was good, and then the escrow money goes out to that student. So that is a great example of a tutor app idea using Web3. Obviously, if you're not looking for it on Google Maps, you can even use AI to just tutor on a specific topic. I did mention that there is global, there's global web LLMs that are trained on generic data across the whole world. If you're talking about specific data like a physics subject, it's very good. But if you're talking about a specific subject at a specific university that you're tutoring for, that's the benefit of building a niche application. So you shove textbook into the context of the LLM. The app can respond to specific assignment questions, specific textbook questions, specific exam, like practice exam questions like a tutor would traditionally do. So and then you can charge your fellow student colleagues $5 to use that service. So that is a great example of an app idea. As I've been blabbing on, the flood simulator projects being built in the background, all the files in red have been changed. So let's have a look. So it's going through, it's converting it from all these generic climate change it's going through for all these climate metrics into flood metrics. So it used to please of the world, but it deleted those, and now it's plotting all the cities inside of Mindanao, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's got rubber plantations, everything. It's changing up the color. Just let it run. And while we wait, is there any else? MJ, we're coming up to the end. I just want to get this thing running, but who knows if I'll stay back. But let me know how it's going. If there's any other questions. I'm looking at that. There's no more questions in the chat either. And what I can do is, in the environments demo app, I can make this Philippines flood app simulator open source, so you guys can take it and run with it for the hackathon or whatever you want to build, which is the benefit of open source. We share with everyone, all the code and apps get better quality. from all the other people that are building. And before you know it, you have a huge project where open source contributions are building something that's really amazing, like say Linux taking over the server world 20 years ago. Um, there's a whole heap of open source projects that are really awesome. So absolutely, it can code in C++. So basically, all the coding models are trained on all the programming frameworks or languages. You can code in Rust if you want to build Solana stuff. Obviously, it can code in Python. It can code in JavaScript. It can talk in Tagalog. It can talk in Messiah. It can talk in Klingon if you're a Star Trek fan. So yeah, AI it's trained on everything in the world. Obviously, the benefit of what you're building is figuring out the niche use case, not the general use case that, say, ChatGPT is going after. It's really about finding that niche use case that you really want to address. And that could be simulating floods in Mindanao in a certain city. You could put some 3D data in to actually map out the 3D terrain of where the flood goes and the water goes. I think it's trying to run in the background. Let me just have a look. Let me know if there's any other questions. Yeah, I don't think this is going to finish in the 2-minute cutoff we have here. But I can keep that running and I'll publish it as open source. Probably the big one is to just quickly, before we finish up, and I've shown you how to modify the code to build a Philippine flood simulator. Essentially, you did the same thing for your own idea. And I really just want you to join the Discord. So we've got a Discord server. If I just open up Discord, I can show you that there's an OpenxAI builders. This is all for the hackathon, but it's basically for developers that want to ask some questions. So we've got Global Town Hall where you join. Just mention Philippines when you join this. I don't know if MJ's on the call. You can drop that in the chat. It's on the Hacknode website. Let me drop it in the chat as well. I've just dropped the Discord link in the chat. So please join. You will, if you just put in the Philippines flag or just say you want to join global, and I'll see you come in here. What it means is I can add you, or MJ can add you to the global role for the global hackathon, and we can chat together there. So that's awesome. We've got quite a lot of builders here in the chat. I don't know what the servers are at the moment, but there's a lot. Awesome. So just mention global Philippines, and we can add your role. So it is manual where we don't have a automated system. We're just manually reviewing humans coming in and adding them to the global role. So just mention global or PH. Awesome. I'll just quickly check. It's still stuck on installing all the libraries. So we won't be able to get the the Philippines flood tracker going yet. I'm happy to quickly stay, but yeah, obviously it's getting late for a lot of people, so we don't want to wait for things to install. Yeah, so you just go to the, I should be sharing, wait, I'm like not sharing. Oh, I'm still sharing Discord. So yeah, you just go to the Hacknode dashboard. You can click global down here. It opens up, or you can click it up here on the, the sign up. So basically, if you can apply now, so apply for the global hackathon so we can see it, and you can get you can start vibe coding using these demo applications. I actually think out of all the people in the Philippines, everyone in Dabao's got first dibs at this because I'm working with the Dabao DeFi community. So yeah, you get to join the hackathon, get some Filipino support. I'm here in person, happy to come out to the universities as well. And yeah, there's a whole heap of prizes that you can win if you do a great submission. I'm hearing like Discord going off in the background. So awesome work, guys. And the big one I want to show is just this. So if I share the hacknode.openxai.org and I scroll down past all the submitted projects by Australia and India who are now finished, I scroll all the way down to the bottom. And this is the big problem I have. And MJ, I've already told you this, but yeah, there's a lot of projects submitted. You can check out the open source code. It's this right here. So Rubes, MJ, do you see how many people in the Philippines have signed up for the hackathon?
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
lot.
I want to change that. I know there's like over 100 million people here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, guys, I think it's an opportunity for everyone really to participate because the learning curve here is not so much steep for everyone. So you can basically vibe code. You got an idea, try to build it in just a few minutes of your time, try to refine it, then submit it. Maybe we never know. This will be your chance to get global in that aspect. Yep, Sir John.
Yeah, so there's like first prize, 10,000 US dollars. If you do well at the hack node or the hackathon, you can then enter into the accelerator, which is a larger prize pool of $100,000 US. So and then yeah, a whole heap of cloud hosting, potential to pitch to VCs, you know, co-working space in Dubai for 1 month. So there's a whole heap of cool things you can do out of this, and all it starts is your brain having an idea and then talking to an AI to code it for you, which is vibe coding. So yeah, huge opportunity, especially for the people in Davao. You guys are here first. 5 universities. The only
Yeah.
one I remember is what the people told me at base, which is something like USEP or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but the progress on trying to reach out. We really want to focus also on the academic side because no, it would be a very good attributes that students will be listed on top of the builders here in OpenxAI also.
Just a quick one, like we used the Block Block website for the hackathon sign up. I then vibe coded this dashboard in like half a day. Built this whole hacknode.openxai.org dashboard. It's pulling in data feeds. It's displaying graphs. And I literally use Cursor to build the dashboard you're looking at right now. So, you know, the skills of vibe coding, it's a pretty awesome. Basically, any presentation you're going to make at university, you can vibe code your own data analytics dashboard. If you're giving a presentation at work in the office to your boss, you can, you know, come up with a market analysis, or maybe you're processing a budget spreadsheet. Instead of just doing a boring, crappy spreadsheet, you can actually build an interactive dashboard website in Next.js very quickly with vibe coding. Plenty about 10 portfolio projects for your GitHub. You can put those on your resume if you haven't had a job yet. And you can host all these websites essentially for free with like Vercel or with OpenxAI. And you can just portfolio of coding projects and become a software developer using vibe coding. So it's a great way to get started. What I would say is don't let the AI do everything for you. Try and read the code line by line that it changes. You can catch it if it's making a mistake, but you're also learning how to code. So you're not reading I was going to say stupid, but a textbook of programming, learning Python. You're actually doing it for real. You can go back to the textbook to read the concepts in detail, but use vibe coding to really eliminate any barriers of getting started. So it's been hard to just get started, quickly start building things that are actually interesting and solving a problem that you can show other people through an interactive website, for example. The other thing, the hackathon obviously gives you an environment where you can compete, make money, and get motivated to build something in a short period of time. That's the beauty of hackathons. So try and join this one, and I'm here to help. I can do one-on-one mentoring. I can do mentoring coming out to your uni as well. With USEP first, right? Can someone put USEP in the chat if you're from USEP? Because that was pretty cool. Basically, the story is a whole bunch of USEP guys ganged up and started making me do these hand signals in the base. Fun times. So thanks guys. Thanks USEP for doing that. I'm sure everyone else has got the logo, hand logos. But yeah, I really want to get the Philippines number up here. So it's currently at 7. I'll update this after the chat, and hopefully you guys have clicked apply and have signed up for the hackathon, and we can really blast this out of the park tomorrow. And yeah, keep joining the Discord server. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'll finish it up. So handing over to Rubes.
Yeah, Sir John,
recorded.
just
No
wanted to add, and of course, would like to thank Corieso College for really participating. We have a lot of in-stored track that we're going to do with them. Also, they will be participating. We'll funnel education to their students about blockchain and be able to build also blockchain track. Basically, of course, OpenxAI, an avenue to accelerate everyone. So thank you to Sir Benji facilitating this for the students to come in and join us for OpenxAI. We'll have more events soon coming, sir. Thank you again.
Thanks, guys. I'll stay back for some questions. Let me know.
Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. You're
ba?
good. You're good, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, in behalf of Korea, so I also wanted to thank Sir Robs, Ma'am MJ. Sinisir ko si Ma'am MJ. Kala ko lalaki. Ma'am MJ, siya po. And of course, Sir John for this opportunity. So hopefully we can have more engagement, sir. So yun lang, thank you in behalf of our Dean, no, Sir Cesar. So thank you so much for the community. for reaching out, Corieso.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thanks, guys. We've got the flood simulator up and running. I can basically